Good morning, soldiers. Today we're going to examine the Peacekeeper from the new DLC for Black Ops 2 Revolution and see what this thing's origins are. So you guys are on it, man. I've been getting messages since the second that Revolution dropped for Black Ops 2 on Xbox Live. And a lot of people are super interested in this weapon because they don't know what the hell it is. And let me go ahead and save you the headache right now. This is a fake weapon, okay? The designers came up with this weapon because they were given the directive to come up with an original design of a weapon that is a hybrid between an assault rifle and an SMG. And I gotta say, there are quite a few flaws when it comes to the design, the actual design of this weapon, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. I think it's a pleasure to look at. It has some elements that I really appreciate, and we're going to go over that. But overall, I'm not like some of the other people out there that are upset that they didn't use a particular weapon that's already out there for the DLC. I appreciated that they tried to come up with something new. And this is a really refreshing weapon to see in the Call of Duty series. I mean, even just starting with the color of it, it's white. And that's something that's dramatically different from any other weapon in Call of Duty, is that every weapon starts out just very dark. Which makes sense because most weapons are. The polymers and the metals that most of these manufacturers use, the default is black. But on this weapon we see white. White and blue, which may be a play toward NATO colors, but it's something new all the same. Another thing that's completely new to the Call of Duty series is this angled forward grip. You don't see this in any other weapon in any other Call of Duty series. And this is something new that's been developed that is meant to go in conjunction with a new way to hold rifles, which reduces your silhouette and makes it easier to control recoil. Your thumb would actually go toward the top of the weapon and the rest of your fingers would be there to hold the grip. It's much better, if you ask me, for rifles than a forward vertical grip, which is better more for close quarters. And it's interesting that it's the default design option on this weapon. I mean, you do have the option of putting the vertical grip on this weapon, but it doesn't help the recoil at all. I mean, here you'll see the recoil with the default angled grip that comes on the weapon, which is pretty good considering that this is considered an SMG style weapon. And now let's take a look at the recoil with the vertical grip, and you'll see that it's not any better, like at all, considering that the attachment actually tells people that it will help reduce recoil, and it doesn't help in any capacity to reduce recoil, and it takes up an entire attachment slot. So something to note, do not use the grip with this weapon. It's completely useless. Another thing that I really appreciate on this weapon is that they added the mag pull bad lever. God, I love this thing. You see it on a lot of SMGs actually, and what it does is it allows you to hit the bolt release without actually having to use your hand to go up on the weapon. It's right there in the trigger well. It's actually a lever that goes from the side of the weapon. Here you see it on this converted 9mm SMG that we have, and it goes right into the trigger well. You can hit it with your trigger finger, saves a bunch of time when you're reloading a new magazine and you don't have a round in the chamber. Now another thing on this weapon, and this confused me, is that here on the right side, I'll get over here to the right, you'll see that it has a default flashlight attached to it. And the reason that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me is because this is obviously not a close quarters weapon. They even said that when they were talking about their inspiration in the design, and also in practice, in the game. This is not a close quarters weapon, so I'm not sure, even by default, even if it's just for show, why they would have a flashlight on there. But, you know, hey, it looks cool. Also has a adjustable buttstock, which is nice. Got to have that. Makes the weapon very ergonomic. Now, the magazine here. I want to talk about this. Before I talk about the rounds that are used with this weapon, I got to say, when you reload this weapon, maybe it's just in theater mode, but the second magazine doesn't show up. He obviously puts it in, it disappears, and then he magically fires a weapon that has no bullets in it. Well, hey, it's futuristic. Maybe it's possible, but it seemed a little wacky to me. And maybe it's just in theater mode, but I thought it was something funny. Now, when we get into the print on the side of this weapon, we start getting some interesting details. Here we actually see the round that is used with this weapon. They print it right on the side. 5.7 by 28mm, and that should sound familiar. It is the same round that is used by the 5.7 pistol, which is the same round that is used by the P90, which is the same round that is copyrighted, manufactured, and produced by FN Herstal. So this leads me to believe that in the future, this weapon is also manufactured by FN Herstal. So if you're from Belgium, be proud. Your country is responsible for the development of the Peacekeeper in the future. Now, also on the side, we saw that it said sea, air, and land. And that's kind of interesting because that's what SEAL stands for, as in the Navy SEALs. So I'm not sure if they're trying to say that this is the weapon that the Navy SEALs use in the future, or if they're just saying that that's the application that this weapon is supposed to have, is for special forces that are very similar to Navy SEALs. Now the 5.7 round is a good round, but it's not meant for anything past 200 meters. That's its effective range out of any of the varieties. So while a decent round, this weapon, if produced somehow by FN Herstal in the future, wouldn't be for long range applications. It would specifically be for mid range, which is what we see in game as well. And I really appreciate this weapon in game because it's for those people who have been complaining this entire time, for good reason, that SMGs rule the day. Because this is your assault rifle in the SMG class. So you get all the benefits of an SMG, but with an assault rifle package. So you get all the maneuverability of an SMG. You can run faster. You have better movement when aiming down the sights. You have better hip fire. You reload faster. But you get the manageable recoil and fire rate of an assault rifle. Now, as a trade-off, you don't get that 3-shot kill ability. So if I were to compare this to any of the assault rifles, it's kind of like between the MTAR and the M27 as far as recoil and fire rate. But you don't have the 3-shot kill ability. That's the trade-off. You're trading that 3-shot kill ability up close with all the benefits, the default benefits of an SMG. And I gotta say, it's pretty awesome. For those people who love assault rifles and don't like all the benefits that the SMGs have compared to the assault rifles, you're going to love this weapon. You're going to feel right at home. And what's funny is you're going to see all the people who specifically use SMGs in Black Ops 2 say that this is the worst SMG. This is terrible. This is the worst weapon in the game. Because they're trying to treat it like an SMG. They're going to be the ones that are trying to put rapid fire on this thing. The ones that are trying to make it better in close quarters by putting a laser on it and stuff like that. They don't understand that this is an assault rifle in the SMG class. So you treat it like an assault rifle and your gameplay will be that much better because of it. This weapon excels when you get a position of advantage before the other team has a chance to get theirs. So at the beginning of a match, use the speed of this weapon to your advantage. Get to those lines of sight that give you a tremendous advantage over the other team when it comes to playing the objective, and you have the range and the ability to take them out as they're coming at you, unlike with any of the other SMGs, and you're going to get there faster than any of the other people using the assault rifles. And now when it comes to the attachments of this weapon, you're going to see people try and turn it into something that it isn't. It's going to be the first thing that the SMG users try to do. They're going to try and put a laser and rapid fire on this thing, and then they're going to try and rush with it, and it's not going to do any good. It's like trying to make it an MP7 when it's not an MP7. It's the Peacekeeper, which means you shouldn't use the speed of this weapon to get in close as with many of the other SMGs. You should use the speed of this weapon to put yourself at the correct distance that this serves best, which is mid-range. You will find yourself just doing outstanding. As far as attachments, I would try and use the attachments that make it better at what it does. Now, you can try and make up for the fact that it's not that great in close quarters by putting a laser on it, but don't get fooled into think that it's better than other weapons. Don't get fooled into rushing with this weapon. The only time that laser should come into effect is when they get past your initial strategy, which is stopping them before they get past mid-range. You'll notice on any Call of Duty map, whenever there's a long line of sight, there's usually some type of barrel or head glitching spot or cover to complement it on the other side, and your job is to get there first and pick up anybody that's traveling in between. So with your attachments, you're going to want to use ones that complement that playstyle. I would go with fast mags or extended mags. Those serve best on this weapon. While it does have a really good reload time, you can never reload fast enough with any weapon if you ask me. So put fast mags on this thing. You're going to see yourself doing a lot better. Maybe put long barrel on it to make it even better at a range. But don't put rapid fire on it. It's going to make it significantly worse at a range. Don't put a suppressor on it. It's going to make it significantly worse at a range. And you're going against what this weapon is meant for. When you put rapid fire on this weapon, it has about the same fire rate as the MP7. So you're basically turning the weapon into an MP7 and you lose one attachment. Don't do that. Save your attachment slots for those attachments that help at mid-range. Use a reticle if you're not happy with the iron sights. Me personally, I love the iron sights on this weapon. I think they're outstanding. So there's no reticle needed for me. Maybe use the quick draw grip, maybe to get it up quicker if something comes in front of you that you didn't expect. Or maybe use the adjustable stock, which is going to make you outstanding at peeking around corners while aiming down the sights, because you already move pretty fast with an SMG while aiming down the sights. Put adjustable stock on this thing, being effective at mid-ranges, you have yourself a very unique playstyle, being able to peek around corners while aiming down the sight and take down targets that are a little farther away. Whatever you decide, I don't think you should listen to what people have to say about the Peacekeeper right now. You know, there's mixed reviews about it being a bad weapon, about it being a good weapon. But all in all, I think we barely scratched the surface of the playstyle that this thing has to offer. It's something very unique to the Call of Duty series, and I'm excited to see how it plays out and what the most effective strategy with this is. In the meantime, you get to enjoy playing around with it and being a pioneer with this weapon and seeing what can happen with it. So that's something very enjoyable. It's been enjoyable researching the origins and inspiration of this weapon, and it's been enjoyable playing with it and seeing what playstyles come out of it. But that's all I have for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And in the comment section, let me know what you think of this weapon, and let me know what weapon you'd like to see me review next. But that's all I have here, guys. This is Sergeant Merrill, out here.